Good afternoon. I'm excited to be with you again for our third session in the Wake Up devotional. I hope you've been following along. Even if you're behind, that's fine. If you haven't started yet, I strongly encourage you to start. What I found most helpful and beneficial in this book is the ability to interact and engage with Scripture in more of a devotional aspect as opposed to just a mental exercise. So oftentimes these devotional books are, even if they are more of a looking at how it affects our life, it's still a mental exercise. What I like about this material is it utilizes all of our senses in different ways to engage and interact with Scripture, have that Scripture impact our hearts and lives, but then most importantly, to change and shape our view of who God is in a more biblical perspective. When we are thinking about God so often, we only see aspects that the youth pastor talks about, the pastor talks about, our parents talk about, or the aspects that we experience firsthand. And so we're only getting a small picture. No human can fully understand God. But when we rely only on those experiences, we get a short changed picture of who God is. And so with this material, it's encouraging you to look at Scripture in a more creative, exciting approach and explore what Scripture says about God. Because when we only see one aspect of who God is, we really only get just a small piece. If you only know one thing about your friend, but you don't know other things, you don't really know your friend. And so it's beneficial and helpful to fully engage and fully understand what it is that God has for us, who He is, and how that impacts our life. So today's video is going to be very, very short. No teaching time from me. This is all going to be kind of on you on your own time. And so what I'm going to do in just a second is I'm going to put up a slide, and it's going to have several key names or phrases that people associate with God. And it has a verse next to it. So what I want you to do is I want you to look through that list. Find one of the words that stands out to you because you need that aspect of God currently. One that stands out to you because you have recently experienced God as that. So specifically, you've experienced God as the rock. Or you may have a question. How is God this? So how is God our portion? And so maybe you want to choose one of them based on that. If you want to read through all of the words and read through all the passages, that's also great too. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at one word, one passage, and then just kind of mull over that. So what does it mean that God is this? Okay, so how does this verse, how does this truth about God then impact how I am to live my daily life? Whether it's internally, or how does that affect the way that I then live externally? So for example, if you look at God being the rock, okay, so how does that impact your daily life? Well, one way could be you're able to have a sure standing. You have a steadfast foundation for yourself. But then how does that affect your life externally? Well, if you have a firm standing, if you have a firm base, then that gives you boldness to do what you need to do, whether that is to speak a word, to share the gospel, or whether it's even just to be friendly to someone because you are able to, not out of your own power and strength, but because of what God has done. So that's what I want you to do with one of the words and one of the verses in the list that is provided. Quick note, we will have our Zoom tonight at 7, so I'd love to spend some time with you. Love to answer any questions you may have from this video, from the reading that you've been doing, or just your everyday life. I have not gotten confirmation yet, but I believe that I have a Zoom myself starting at 8 o'clock our time. So we will have a very short Zoom. It will not be the full hour. But I hope to see you tonight at 7. We can hang out for a little bit, and then we will return back to our full, however long we go Zoom sessions. So that's it. I hope you have had a great week, and I hope you continue to have a great week. Let this exercise not just be busy work, but let this exercise be something that can devotion in your life. See you soon.